Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. The stock market is crazy and chaotic. And I made my mission to help you guys own it. It has been a interesting day, really interesting week so far. It's Wednesday, September. I can't believe it's September already, right? Like, it's just absolutely wild that it is September. I just can't believe it. It's just wild to me. So, but anyways, what's going on, Savvy Money Show? Michael, Darren, Kevin, Hawthorne, Ryan, you guys are my starting five. I also see Lord Fenrir in here, though, too. Like, let's just shout everybody out. I mean, listen, it is what it is. Boogaloo Brown, Alex, it is me. You just made it. Appreciate you. Appreciate the banter between Lord Fenrir and Alex as well. But man, what a great day to be back. We have C3 AI on board. It's going to be an interesting day as far as that's concerned. And I say interesting because the internet has been really wonky here lately. So I'm hoping that like things will start pulling up. I wish I could give you the expected expectations for earnings on C3 AI, among others. We are going to be reacting to UiPath, GameStop, ChargePoint, American Eagle Outfitters, Dave & Buster's also reports this afternoon. But for some reason, some of the things, listen, like technology is great until it stops working, right? Like, it's just so annoying. Hopefully we'll get that figured out. It's been kind of wonky. I do want to kind of turn your attention to, though, let's just, as you guys know, I've been kind of getting back into the low cap stock game and really wanted to give my 2 cents on something that really kind of caught my attention as of late, and that is Bionomics Limited is the company name there. If you guys haven't checked it out, I would encourage you to go ahead and take a look here. Let's go ahead and just share my screen with you real quick on what's going on with Bionomics. And as I wait for everything else to kind of show up, it's just kind of been so annoying. I don't know what the deal is, but let's take a look at the chart here on Binox real quick. So nice and low, looks like a potential opportunity here. You look at the monthly chart, obviously hasn't been pretty as of late. Let's back out to the weekly. And so, but such is life with some of the biotech companies, right? Like, there's always this, I don't want to say negative connotation, but there is a connotation with biotechnology stocks. It's always kind of like it's very volatile, as you guys might know. But I like the fact that this chart has seemingly bottomed out. Take a look here, and you kind of see where that double bottom has taken place. We'll continue to keep an eye on this, but there's a couple things that I wanted to kind of like just point out real quick before we get into some of the AI stuff. And that is just that, that if you haven't checked out Bionomics, by the way, it's in the biopharma sector, as I mentioned. They seem to be poised to be a game changer, and it's something that maybe a lot of investors who have been in Bionomics for a while have been waiting for. They are best in class in treatment for social anxiety. Bionomics is aiming for a first of its kind, non-sedating, acute treatment for social anxiety disorder. Imagine tackling social anxiety without the sedation or habit-forming side effects of current medications. This is what Bionomics is doing. Forthcoming milestones. Keep an eye on Q3 2023 for the top line data for their phase 2 2B Attune study for PTSD treatment. A phase 3 study for social anxiety disorder treatment is expected by early 2024. There's some strategic partnerships here as well. The company has joined hands with pharmaceutical giant Merck to explore treatments for cognitive deficits and Alzheimer's and CNS disorders. A collaboration like this isn't just promising. I think, in my opinion, that it is actually monumental. Beyond mental health, they're not just stopping at psychiatric disorders. Bionomics is also has preclinical assets targeting ion channels, widening its potential for market research, innovative revenue streams as well, with a memorandum of understanding, or MOU, of Empath Bio for a PTSD treatment derivative. Bionomics is opening avenues for alternative, potentially lucrative revenue streams as well. Here's the bottom line. A Merck partnership for Alzheimer's treatment, a pioneering approach to social anxiety, and fast approaching FDA end of phase 2 meeting. Bionomics is rife with catalysts that could send its stock soaring. With such groundbreaking work, you really can't afford to overlook this stock. Now, as I always point out, this isn't something where I'm saying that you have to buy it, but I think that there's certainly an opportunity here for Binox. So take a look at this one, see if you guys like it. If you do, I think it's worth taking a shot at. Let me know what you guys think in the comments on Bionomics as well. But I really like this one, just as one to keep an eye on, as I always say. It's not something that I would never say like, yeah, you just go out and buy this thing, but it's definitely worth taking a look at if you guys are looking forward to that. So stream looks really low quality. So I don't know if it's the internet. So yeah, it says audio's having interesting. Yeah. Settings are fine for me. Let me just double check here. I just want to double check. It's been weird today. It's kind of, I don't know what's up with it. Let me just double check here. I want to confirm that we're good. Let me double check. Just want to make sure we're good. It looks like we're okay. I set my quality settings up. Sometimes internet's weird like that. So if you like it might, it's working here. Don't know. We'll keep powering through though. But yeah, as I had mentioned at the top of the show, but anyhow, things are looking okay on this side. Jake Lifton says your viewers are telling you it's terrible. Well, I don't know what you want me to do, Jake. Bro, I can't fix the internet. I'm working here. But it's working on my end. If you can change your settings in YouTube, see if it gives it a chance. But like, listen. All right, well, take it easy, Jake. Appreciate you. Thanks, Boogaloo Brown. I'm trying here. Let me just double check. Checking the speed here. You guys got me worrying here. What the heck's going on? Yeah, exactly, Melanie. Like what? Let me just call up the internet guys and have them fix it right away. I'm. It's not like I'm not quite sure what to do. It looks like it's getting better at this point. I'll just keep going. I'm not going to restart the whole stream, but you can actually change your settings. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Lord Fender. Thank you. I'm just going to keep going. We're just going to keep going. I'm not going to sign off. That's not happening. Not signing off for that. All right, here we go. It never ceases to amaze me. It's like as soon as I try to go live with something, stuff like this happens. But hey, listen, it is what it is. I'll just double check one more thing here. Latency is fine on my yeah, I don't know. Try and reset the flux capacitor. Flux capacitor is resetting. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Good time to team deathmatch in Call of Duty. Listen, team deathmatch says Lord Fanner. I hate team death. That's like the worst. That's the worst game mode on Call of Duty. Period. If I had to choose one that like a game mode that I really liked was it would be probably like domination or something like that. Give me something to work towards. Give me a some sort of objective. So he says unplug my OnlyFans account. Yeah, I don't listen. I don't know what to do. Looks like loading on Binox. Let's take a look on Binox right now, actually, as we were talking about. We'll be talking about C3 AI in just a moment. But let's take a look at what's going on Binox as we get into the close here. Moving up. Here's your 5-minute chart on Binox. Relatively low volume here. But as to be expected with some of your low cap stocks, especially ones that don't have a whole lot of attention on them. But there's definitely some loading going on here. As I mentioned on the daily chart, you can see that there was a double bottom on the chart there itself. So I think it's just worth keeping an eye on. As I'd mentioned, I gave you guys some decent fundamentals to take a look at as well, what exactly the company's got going on. But heading into the end of the day, looks like there's some activity going on there. But either way, I think it's worth taking a look at. If you guys want to keep an eye out for that, we'll continue to keep an eye on that for the rest of the week. If you guys want to go check me out over on at patreon.com/own the chaos. You can come hang out in our Discord. We'll love you guys. Love to have you guys chill there as well. In our Discord, we can keep an eye on Binox as well. But right now, as we move on, as I mentioned, C3 AI also is going to be reporting this afternoon. We not only have C3 AI, but we also have UiPath, GameStop, ChargePoint, Dave & Buster's also going to be reporting here after hours. We're coming up to a minute before the close. So let's go ahead and pull up C3 AI. So here's your chart on C3 AI. Here's your 5-minute chart here. Certainly living here in one of Don's zones. So this will be an interesting spot to watch. So living here in this zone between the 3247, we'll call it 3250, and 3151, kind of sitting here in this zone. Obviously, we'll see what happens as the market is officially closed. We'll go ahead and pull up the 5-minute chart on this. It's been an interesting one as far as AI is concerned. As you guys know, since the first of the year, artificial intelligence has been just on absolute fire. And so I really like the way that artificial intelligence is headed. Could we see a little bit more of a pullback? I mean, I think that we've seen that already with the likes of, NVIDIA and really the overall S&P market. The S&P 500 has certainly been something that we need to continue to keep an eye on as it's seemingly corrected over the last couple of days. But, AI certainly has been at the forefront of the S&P, of the Qs. And so does this little tiny correction really make a difference to me? I don't think so. Here's your Qs. We'll go out to the daily chart on that. So here's the last 3 trading days on the Qs. A little bit of a correction. You've seen, like, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the mainstream media, but they're all losing their minds over this. So like, oh, well, here comes the correction. I don't think that we're there yet. Could it be the start? I think it's awfully early to make that call that it could be the start, but you take a look at this trend line and it seems to be a pretty healthy pullback. I'm not saying that there's anything to worry about here at all. I wouldn't be worried until it comes down and maybe falls below that 374 area as far as the Qs are concerned. The S&P 500 still very much in that conversation as well. I just don't see where there's anything that I would be too overly concerned about at this point. Yeah, I don't. Must have Verizon Internet. I wish I had Verizon Internet. It actually would be better. Actually would be. Oh, this is so frustrating. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Never fails. Shout it out like a sports guy on the radio. Audio is fine. That is interesting that the audio is not, or like the video. It's weird that the video is not working, but the audio is working fine. It's now a podcast. Just close your eyes. Yeah, I don't know. And the crazy part is that like I'm directly plugged in. There's no Wi-Fi here. Like there is Wi-Fi here, but like I'm directly plugged into an Ethernet cable. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Just gonna continue to power through. See what happens. It's not the switcher, Don. I appreciate you giving me the input there, but it's weird. Like I'm on my phone and it doesn't look great, but it looks like I'm moving just fine. Savvy Money Show says it wouldn't be an OTC stream without issues. I don't know whether there's a thank you or I don't know how to take that, bro. I don't know how to take that at all. All right. Let's just keep going. I'm going to keep powering through as I'd mentioned earlier. So let's go ahead and just pull up C3 AI, pull up the 5-minute chart, and hopefully you'll be able to see the chart itself, or you can just follow along, I guess. So far, the stock is actually moving. It's up 2% after hours. If you guys haven't looked at where the expectations are on that, I had it pulled up, but for whatever reason, something is going on with the goddamn internet. So we'll continue to watch that, but let's see if I can pull it up somewhere else. Gotta love it. Let's see what's going on here. Nothing's more. There we go. Okay. So it looks like we're getting better here. Loss of 17 cents, $71.6 million is the expectation there for C3 AI. As I'd mentioned before, there's been a lot of hype surrounding around this. Year to date, the stock's up 183%. Most analysts are saying that it's better off just to hold on to this thing. I would say that let's just see what's going on with earnings here and kind of make a decision after that. So as you can see, the stock's starting to move up. It's up around 2%. Going back onto the daily chart here, there's still plenty of room for this to run. So if you guys feel like you've missed a boat on C3 AI, despite the fact that it's up nearly 200% on the year, I would say that it's got plenty of room to run. So there's a lot to like here still. There's a lot of risk involved in this space, but also a lot of reward. I think there's a possible short squeeze here as well that could be in play. We'll just continue to keep an eye on that as short interest here is at 33%. So if AI comes in and has a damn good quarter, watch out. We could end up seeing a potential short squeeze situation here. So let's go back to the 5-minute chart, just to kind of give you guys a real time look on what's going on with C3 AI. And it is up now 2.25%. Looks like it's still just kind of some still. So let me go ahead and just let's see here. There we go. Some people are saying it's much better now. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna power through. Thank God I didn't just end it all, right? Lord Finner says I just heard full accountant. Stick around to the end of the show. I'll go over Binox one more time. For those of you who didn't catch at the beginning, maybe some of you guys left. But I wanted to cover that as well. But yeah, Lord Fenrir, by all means, full accountant. Stock's up now 3 1/3. Still waiting on those earnings to come through. Soon as those numbers are out, I will for sure share them with you. Still don't have them just yet, but as soon as I do, I'll be happy to share those. We also have ticker symbol play, which is Dave and Buster's. Let's take a look at that. So it looks like there's some activity on that so far. That's up 1.6. Oh, and it's moving its way up. It's now up 2.25. Oh my God. Boy. Karem says, why is Don not in the stream? Don couldn't make it. The invitation was sent, but he just had other things going on, which is totally okay. That happens. UiPath also has earnings today. You look at that. That's up around 0.5%. Doesn't look like those numbers are out just yet either. Checking back in with AI. And still looks like just some pre-earnings, movement there. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's frustrating as hell, man. Dave & Buster's expectations, 93 cents a share, $558 million in revenue, 8 upward revisions to 1 down. I think this will be an interesting one to watch. I don't know if I would go long on this, but I certainly wouldn't go short either. There's a lot to like here. The valuation is a little bit high at 10.5 times next year's earnings. And when you look at other companies in this space, that's kind of like where they're living. Growth here, though, isn't bad at all. Especially in the economy that we're in right now. Seeing a little bit of a slowing of growth, people not spending as much money, but revenue growth year over year is at 41, almost 42%. And we're well past the COVID numbers at this point. So the comps are no longer, pre-COVID, post-COVID, what have you. It is, what did it look like this time last year? So they're up 41, almost 42% year over year. Revenue growth forward looking here is going to be around 24%. So we'll see if Dave & Buster's comes in somewhere around that number. I would be curious to see where that came from. Profitability also, gross profit margin here is at 29.72%. EBITDA sitting at 24%. So some really good numbers. And so if they continue on that trend for this current quarter that they're going to be reporting on, I think that Dave & Buster's actually looks like a pretty solid move here as well. Let's take a look at play. Oops. And you can see that stock is now up around 2%. Lord Fenner says only Jake from State Farm took off. Yeah, he was off. He was out in a hurry. He was like, I'm out, guys. Don needs to get Jake Lipton into, like relax, bro. Tell him to relax. Tell him to relax, Don. I mean, here just like dog shitted all over my stream and then just bounced. Like, thanks for encouraging everybody else to leave, bro. UiPath is down 5.5%. Let's take a look at that. UiPath did come out with their earnings. They came in Q2 revenue, $287 million versus the estimate around 282. So they beat on revenue. Adjusted operating income around 30.1 million. Gross margin was at 83%. Q2 adjusted gross margin at 86%. Those are some pretty darn good numbers. So interesting to see that the stock is selling off right now. Take a look at some other numbers that they might have for UiPath. Estimated earnings per share was at 3 cents, 282, as I'd mentioned, $1 million in revenue. Not a whole lot of analysts on this one as far as like coverage is concerned. So I'll continue to keep an eye on UiPath. Right now, it is selling off. It's down around 2.65%. But it looks like there's some buying happening back here. We'll keep an eye on that. AI now selling off. It's down around 3%. So it looks like maybe those numbers are out. Take a look at that. Those numbers are indeed out. So according to Stock Titan, revenue total for the fourth quarter, for the quarter was 72.4 million, coming in at high end of guidance of 70 million to 72.5. So high end of the guidance. Subscription revenue for the quarter was 61.4 million, constituting 85% of total revenue. Gross profit, GAAP gross profit for the quarter was 40 and a half, representing a 56% gross margin. Non-GAAP gross profit for the quarter was 49.6 million, representing a 69 non-GAAP gross margin. So if we look at AI and their profitability, 67.64 was the gross profit margin, and they are now reporting gross profit of 56%. So a little bit less. That's probably why it's selling off a little bit here. Ton says that's Jake for sure. Yeah, what a douche. Just kidding. I love you, Jake. But goddamn, bro. You give it a minute. Savvy Money shows some people have no patience. Lord Fenner. Everybody's gonna be dogging on Jake all afternoon. That's okay. We still love you, Jake. It's all good. Okay, so there's C3 AI. So they came in. It looks as if maybe they came in under expectations just from a gross profit margin standpoint. Probably not a big shocker, right? Year to date, as I'd mentioned before today, they were up 183, almost 184%. So not much of a shock to see this move down. Any reason to sell AI at this point, especially for people who have been in it for a while. So it does make a bit of sense. We'll see, though. It's early. The company just released earnings. You never know where this can go, especially after conference calls and that sort of thing. Let's take a look back at Dave & Buster's and see what's going on with Dave & Buster's here. Stock's up 2%. They came in with revenue of 287 million versus the 282 that was expected. That's beating expectations. It came with earnings per share of 9 cents a share versus 3 cents that was expected, and announced a $500 million buyback. It was 500 million share buyback. Sorry. So that's why the stock is probably being held up at this point. Let me correct myself. A $500 million stock repurchase program is what's going on with Play. Let me just rephrase this. I'm getting Play and Path mixed up. Here we go. Play earnings came in at 94 cents. Estimated was 93, 542 million versus 559. Going back to Path, and that is the numbers that I had said earlier. So 9 cents versus 3 cents, 287 to 282 was expected. So, yeah, it's still interesting to see that AI and UiPath is down. But we're taking a look back at Play, Dave & Buster's. Adjusted earnings per share 94 cents versus 93, 542 versus 559. So they missed on revenue, beat on earnings. They increased their remaining share repurchase program, authorizing up to 200 million. So that's what was confusing to me. There's repurchase programs everywhere. So everybody's buying back shares. UiPath is buying back $500 million worth of shares. Play is buying back the remaining $200 million worth of shares. That stock is maintaining in the green around 2%. Don says Play just doesn't seem that good for anything. I mean, have you ever been to Dave & Buster's though? It's quite fun. UiPath. Somebody was asking about UiPath. It's down around 0.5%, so it is clawing its way back. It was down around almost 4%. They announced that $500 million buyback. I'm wondering if that's why the stock is moving at this point. A couple other stocks that are going to be reporting this afternoon. Well, okay, thank you. A couple of other stocks that are going to be reporting this afternoon. I don't know why I did that. Is going to be, thank you. Jesus Christ. ChargePoint. Let's take a look at ChargePoint as well. CHPT down 8%. Good God Almighty. So ChargePoint has their earnings that are out now as well. Let's pull that up. See where those numbers are. They came in at a loss of 35 cents versus 21 cents that was expected. Revenue came in at 150.49 million. The actual was 153.2. Stocks down, as I had mentioned, 8%. And we'll see where this goes. Let's take a look at the daily chart on this. Again, taking a look at Don Zones here. Probably should have told you that there isn't much to like here on ChargePoint, at least in the short term. Well below that zone. Maybe that 649 area could be a spot where it settles out. We'll see what happens. But I mean, this is as low as we've seen it as far as ChargePoint's concerned. Anybody still in this, by the way? Anybody take a chance on ChargePoint? Don said, "Get wrecked." Shock City Rocker says, ChargePoint getting the SPAC down. I like that. Getting the SPAC down. Digging it. Hit that like button. Speaking of which, if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, apologies for a little bit of the disorganization. There were some technical issues that I was working myself through, but it seems as if we're good now. So hopefully we are. I wanted to, you guys would let me know. That's for damn sure. Gosh, you guys were relentless at the beginning of the stream. Karem says ARC is holding 6% of UiPath. Yeah, well, how is ARC doing these days? I haven't looked at ARC Invest in a minute. Here's your daily chart on ARC. Pretty strong correction on there since they had that serious move up over COVID. And a lot of people wanting them to just kind of really make that bounce. It just, they haven't quite seen it. Now, I will say, since January, they've had a pretty decent year so far, but not anywhere near where they were before. So here's your trend on ARC. That's not too bad. What are they doing on the year so far? Are they outperforming the S&P? They are actually crushing the S&P this year. They're up 45%. Just to give you context, the SPY this year is up 17%, which, by the way, I said was going to happen. You guys been paying attention in class. So the S&P 500 was going to end the year between 15 and 20%. Right now we're sitting at 17%, and that's after we've seen a decent correction over the last, three or four trading days. If you guys want more info on that, go check us out over at that. I say us, meaning Don and I, over at patreon.com/ownthechaos. Link is in the description. Love to have you guys a part of the community over there. We have Don posts his trade alerts. I do Stock Watch Sunday. Every Sunday, I put up stocks that I think are worth watching. We also have our Discord over there. Make sure you go check us out. Lord Fenner says, I never enjoy it. I'm just here for the blackmail material. I guess he's talking about the stream itself. Never enjoys the stream. Blackmail. Hey, you know what? Knock yourself out, bro. Miss you, brother. Thanks for hanging out this afternoon, by the way. Darren says, who was the guy that used to say, I get no respect, no respect? Rodney Dangerfield. You just dated yourself, Darren. All right, let's take a look at some of the other stuff that's been reporting this afternoon. Check back in with C3AI. Let's just double check on this. So they came in with 72.4 million coming at the high end of guidance. That was between 70 and 72 and a half. Subscription revenue came into the quarter of 61.4 million, constituting 85% of total revenue. Let me know what you guys think about this. So like, obviously AI's, we'll come back to the 5-minute chart. AI is not having a great day overall. It's down 6.5%, but really does anybody care if you've been in it since the beginning of the year? It's up 200% year to date. So does this really bother you? Is this just a blip on the radar? Well, how are you guys feeling? Did anybody hop in on C3 AI at the beginning of the year? Just been hanging on since then. Would love to get your guys' thoughts on this. I mean, we saw, how NVIDIA reacted to their earnings. The next day wasn't all that fantastic after their earnings, and a lot of it's still surrounding around AI. So we'll see. So 72.4 million versus the 71.6 that was expected, 9 cents versus the 17 cents that was expected. So that is why the stock is down a bit. And Q1, fiscal quarter one, they closed 8 new agreements for C3 Gen AI. Guidance for fiscal year 20 or for fiscal year Q2, 72 to 76 and a half. That is why those are your numbers. They still see revenue somewhere in the vicinity for the year of 295 to 320 million versus what the 307. So on the high side of that as well. That looks great to me. And actually, you can kind of see it starting to get some buyers here in the after hours. As I'd mentioned about 10 minutes ago, that it was early. So am I shocked that this move is going up? I don't think so. Lord Fenner says that Don offered you $20,000 for my nude pics with peanut butter, holding out for more. God damn it, Don. What's wrong with you? That was between us, bro. We had a deal. Shock 30 Rocker says, I'll never cheat on Palantir with C3 AI. Why? What exactly do you owe Palantir? Just out of curiosity. Like, why do you need to remain loyal to Palantir? Just out of curiosity. Like, what exactly has Palantir done for you lately? And we'll go to the weekly chart. Right? Like, they still dilute. They still aren't in a great spot. I will say, this year ain't bad for them. But why can't you just play both? If Palantir's up 139%. AI is actually outperforming Palantir. The forward PE on Palantir is 67 times next year's earnings. Growth for Palantir is at 17%. Let me tell you something, Shock City Rocker. I know that you're a loyal follower, so I won't crush you. Not going to do that to you. But you got 12,500 shares at 860. I respect that. That's a fine trade, my friend. A fine trade. Nearly doubled your money. I hope that you've taken something off the table. If it were me, I would have. Play with house money at this point. That would be my strategy. But nobody says that you can't have both of these stocks, right? But here's the thing. They're both speculative. C3 AI, UiPath that just reported today as well, and even Palantir, they're speculative at best. So if you made a bunch of money, awesome. Hell of a trade. Congrats. But if you haven't taken any money off the table and you end up losing your ass on it, that's your fault, right? So, is what it is. Don says that I cheat on my boyfriend all the time, so that's why he doesn't care. We have a mutual understanding. Oh shit. Royalties with OnlyFans will pay it back. Listen, I'm a very pretty man. OnlyFans treat me well. Oh, Jesus Christ. I love you guys. You guys are the best. Can you imagine like somebody who came in here like out of the blue, never been on this channel ever, and I'm just like spouting off some bullshit? They're like, what the hell did I bring myself into? Oh my God. All right. So, okay. C3 AI, we covered that. We covered Dave and Buster's. Let's just take a look back at Dave and Buster's to see where we're going on this one. So PLAY is a ticker symbol there. Go to the 5-minute chart, see where we're at. Kind of maintaining and holding the gains there off of their earnings. It's up around 1.5%, was up as high as around 2-3%. So gave back a little bit, but Dave and Buster's actually had some pretty decent earnings as well. You guys were wondering what those numbers were. They came in and looks like they might have missed. Let's just double check here. So for the second quarter, they came with earnings per share of 94 cents compared to the average analyst estimate of 93. So they beat earnings. Revenue of 542.1 million compared to the expected 558. So they missed on revenue. The company ended the second quarter with 572.8 million of liquidity, which included 82.6 million in cash and 490.2 million available under its $500 million revolving credit facility. Dave & Buster's purchased 2.1 million shares at a total cost of $74.5 million in the second quarter. The total share repurchase date in fiscal year 2023 are 5.7 million shares, totaling 200 million and representing 11.8% of the company's outstanding shares as of the end of fiscal year 2022. So those are your numbers for Dave & Buster's. C3AI came in at a loss of 9 cents and beat estimates by 8 cents. Take a look back at the AI chart. Here's your 5-minute. Revenue came in at 72.36, beating estimates by 3/4 of a mil. It's 11% increase year over year. To me, that is just not enough growth. Like if your business, if your company is all things artificial intelligence, and you grew your company by 11% year over year in a time where AI hasn't been hotter, maybe that gives you a little bit of pause. Nevertheless, the stock's up 200% nearly year to date. And that's even with this 3.5% drop off after hours. So let me know what you guys think about that. You know, are you looking to get into AI after those earnings? To me, I don't know. I don't know. Another stock that was reporting that we were covering was UiPath, ticker symbol PATH. That was confusing with PLAY all afternoon so far. That stock is now green after going red initially. It's up now 4%. Here's the numbers on that. They came in and beat estimates. They came in at 9 cents. They beat estimates by 6 cents. Revenue came in at 287.3 million, beating estimates by about 5.25 mil. Annual recurring revenue of 1.308 billion. That's an increase of 25% year over year, better than AI. Net new annual recurring revenue of 59 million. Dollar-based net retention of 121%. Damn. GAAP gross margin was 83%. What did I say that UiPath was before? So GAAP gross margin was 83% on their current earnings. Before, let's see. Gross profit margin was 83.9. So about the same. About the same. Growth there is looking not too shabby. UiPath probably should have been green this whole time. It's up 4.5%. Lord Fenrir. Lord Fenrir's on one. You can tell that Lord Fenrir has missed me. Oh shit, Don. Okay. So if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, in all seriousness, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. If you're visiting for the first time and you're asking yourself, why the hell am I even here? That's all the reason you need to hit that subscribe button. Come on back. I'm looking to go live again at least 4 to 5 times a week. Lately I've been doing this once a week thing. I plan on making this more and more frequency as I was in the past. This past year has been a little bit of a challenge, but we're getting through it. Looking at ChargePoint, it's down around 8.7%. Not a great quarter for them. Saw somebody asking about that. So ChargePoint, not great. Not really surprising, right? I guess it shouldn't be a surprise unless somebody was really like all gung ho on this thing. But they came in. Here's your numbers. They missed earnings per share by 14 cents. They came in at a loss of 35 cents. Revenue came in at 150.49 million. They missed revenue as well by 2.34 million. GAAP gross margin of 1% and non-GAAP gross margin of 3%, reflecting a 19% percentage point margin impact from inventory impairment charge, reduction of estimated 30 million in annualized operating expenses, which that's not bad, but they had to cut stuff somewhere. Revenue growth year over year is at 83%. That's good, but they're spending money faster than they can make it. And that's a big problem, especially in this time that we're in where interest rates are going through the roof. Not great for a company like ChargePoint. Love you too, Lord Fenrir. And I mean that. Jose Miguel asks, what about ChargePoint? And Don says, how are they still in business? It's a great question. It's a great question. I mean, the big reason why they're still in business is because of the growth. And I mean, listen, that some oftentimes, especially in a bull market, which we are in, keeps companies alive. Now we'll see where ChargePoint goes from here, but if they're still growing, if they're still growing that, especially 84% revenue, somebody's going to invest in that. What they need to do is figure out the balance sheet, and that's going to be the big issue, right? So if they can figure out the balance sheet problems, then they'll be fine. ChargePoint will be fine. If they can't, spells trouble for them, especially with Tesla just going absolutely bonkers on their infrastructure. I mean, that's their main competitor right now, right? If you're ChargePoint, you're looking at Tesla. I mean, like, well, shit, I hope Tesla comes in and buys us out. That's really what's kind of going to save us in the long run. Hector says this is a long-term bet. But, and answer me this, Hector, like, I hear you on that. But if you are are you hoping that Tesla just comes in and saves the day for them? Because at this point, if I'm going to invest in EVs, whether it's charging stations or just electric vehicles themselves, why not just buy Tesla and be done with it? Like, how is ChargePoint going to carve out market share away from a company like Tesla or even Ford at this point? I don't understand why you would buy something like a ChargePoint or any of those other companies in that space that are competing against Tesla. Anytime anybody says Hector, I just hear Brad Pitt from Troy. Yes. Yeah. What a great movie, by the way. Troy was a damn good movie. Like, that was an underrated movie. Obviously it's a dude movie. If you're a guy, you probably have seen Troy. If you haven't, either you live under a rock or maybe we should just take your man card from you. I don't know. If you haven't seen Troy, go watch Troy. Orlando Bloom is in that movie. Just a straight up. Do I say pussy on this show? Well, I just did. But anyways, that's what he is in that movie. Like going from watching like Lord of the Rings Orlando Bloom to Troy Orlando Bloom, it's just like, what happened to this guy? Like, why did he want to just throw his career in the toilet with a role like that? Savvy Money Show says Troy was a damn good movie. God, that was a good movie. I feel like I need to go watch it again, like tonight. I haven't heard from Hector. Says it's a long-term bet, but and honestly, like, I'm not trying to pick on you, Hector, but since you've been putting comments in here, I just wanted to have a conversation with you about it. But like, if you're looking in this space, like, why would you choose a ChargePoint over Tesla? And you could tell me that it's the dollar amount that scares you away. It's too rich for my blood. People love to say that term, but like, is it really? I mean, take a look at the actual fundamentals here. And yeah, you can buy more shares of ChargePoint, but if ChargePoint isn't going anywhere, you're still wasting your money, right? If Tesla still has another 100, 200% in it over the next 5 years or so, and maybe I'm being conservative on that, some of your Tesla fanboys are probably like, what are you talking about? It's going 500% in the next year, bro. Maybe that's the case. But nevertheless, I think the trajectory for Tesla is going to be far greater than a ChargePoint. And I don't see how ChargePoint makes it out alive unless they get bought out. Just my 2 cents. Kingdom of Heaven was okay. Kingdom of Heaven was good. That was a good movie. Not going to lie. It wasn't Troy. Let's put that out there. At least he was right about the Trojan horse. Says burn it. I would have, and would have been hilarious to find them inside after it's blazing. Oh, Jesus. Kind of makes you wonder about Trojan condoms, right? Like what the condom company like Trojan came up with that name? Was it like, hey, we're going to trick everybody into letting them know that these condoms actually work, and then they're going to find out that they're going to be screwed 9 months later? Or was it more like, Achilles and like they're fucking strong and shit, right? This show went way off the rails. I can't believe that 55 of you guys are still hanging out here. This show sucks right now. But I love you guys for hanging out. Let's see. Nemo Dog asking if Don's still holding Enphase. Getting crushed. Let's take a look at Enphase, actually. I haven't looked at Enphase in a minute. It is getting crushed on the 5. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Looks like Don was in this at some point. I'm sure Don can talk about this trade a little bit. There you go. Darren said, thus the burning is avoided with Trojan rubbers. Oh man. So Lord Fenrir says 300. Troy was a great movie. 302 and Gladiator. So put it in the comments in order of your favorite from these types of movies, right? Like, just like I don't even know how to put this in a genre. Yeah, it's action movie, but like it's just like, I don't know. So in order, okay, your order of preference: Gladiator. I'll give you mine after in a couple minutes. Gladiator, 300, Troy. All right. In order of your favorites: Gladiator, 300, Troy. 300 the first one. Let's just keep the second 300 movie out. But 300 the first one. So Troy, Gladiator, 300. Favorite to least favorite. List them in the comments. Historic action drama, says Lauer. That's the niche. Historic action drama. I like it, Loud Work. I like it. Historic action. So put it in the comments. Favorite to least favorite. Troy, Gladiator 300. Also, Brad Pitt is like is he an underrated actor? He's definitely not overrated. Is he underrated or is he accurately rated? Right? Because Brad Pitt is an amazing actor. Like, he literally can do anything. Probably my favorite Brad Pitt movie is Snatch. Snatch is probably one of my favorite top 5 movies of all time. Snatch is amazing. But he plays a gypsy in Snatch. You know, Fight Club, obviously an amazing movie. Even Ocean's 11 was incredible. He's in Troy. Like, guy can do everything. Those are the best actors. They really are. It can just be anybody. ChargePoints. Take a look and see if it's still selling off here. Yeah, it's selling off. The sell-off has worsened. It's now down at the lows of the session, sitting down 11%. Not looking great there. Let's take a look back at AI. Oops. AI now down 5.33%. It was trying to claw its way back. Almost got back to even, but is now down 5%. UiPath up 5%. Kind of the highlight of the day is UiPath. As you guys are putting those movies in, just wanted to kind of cover real quick, since the top of the show was a little bit wonky, the Bionomics stock that I was watching. Take a look at that real quick as you guys are putting those movies in. So Bionomics Limited, stock to watch here. Take a look at the daily chart. Hasn't been too kind here historically. Virtually since the company's been public, the stock itself has not performed great. Let's make no mistake about it. We don't want to sugarcoat that. We want to just be observant of that. But could this be a diamond in the rough? And, you know, biotech stocks are always a bit risky. Again, not telling you guys anything that you don't know. But I think there's something to be said here on the daily chart that perhaps we've seen a double bottom here. And there's a lot of things to like here about Bionomics. So let me just run this down here real quick. They have best-in-class treatment for social anxiety. Bionomics is aiming for a first-of-its-kind, non-sedating acute treatment for social anxiety disorder. Imagine tackling social anxiety without the sedation or habit-forming side effects of current medication. Forthcoming milestones. Keep an eye on that Q3 2023 for the top-line data for their phase 2b ATTUNE study for post-traumatic stress treatment. Phase 3 study for social anxiety disorder treatment is expected by early 2024. They've had some pretty awesome strategic partnerships. The company has joined hands with pharmaceutical giant Merck to explore treatments for cognitive deficits in Alzheimer's and other CNS disorders. Collaboration like this isn't just promising, but in my opinion, it's indeed monumental. They go beyond mental health here as well. They also have preclinical assets targeting ion channels, widening their potential market reach. And they have an MOU, or a memorandum of understanding, with Empath Bio for a PTSD treatment derivative. And Bionomics is opening avenues for alternative, potentially lucrative revenue streams as well. A Merck partnership for Alzheimer's treatment, a pioneering approach to social anxiety, and a fast approaching FDA end phase 2 meeting. Bionomics is rife with catalysts that could send its stock soaring, especially seeing the double bottom that we are here. And as I had mentioned at the top of the show, if you guys didn't catch that, it is not me telling you to go out and buy this, but it's certainly worth a look. So keep an eye on that one. But so got a couple of you guys chiming in on the movies here. Darren says Gladiator, Troy 300, and Conan. Still dating yourself, Darren. Listen, I don't know if I disagree with this. 300 was a damn good movie. Gladiator, I feel like has to come in first, right? So Savvy Money Show says 300 first, Troy, and Gladiator comes in last. Interesting. Xena Warrior Princess above it all. Don just he just doesn't know the assignment. Hector says 300, Troy, and Gladiator. Another one that has Gladiator coming in the bottom of their three. Interesting. Like Gladiator, I thought would come in first with a lot of you guys. Yeah, Lord Fenrir. See, me and him are on the same page. This is me 100%. Gladiator, Troy, 300. Agreed. That's the one that I align with the most. Gladiator, Troy, and 300 in that order. But they are all phenomenal. All phenomenal. Not sharing that comment. Don says, hopefully they'll figure it out. Oh, just a side comment there. Loud work, 300 Gladiator, Battle of the Titans. I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen Battle of the Titans, but 300 Gladiator just skipped right over Troy. I can only I think that's Daniel Lee. What's up, bro? Never made it through Troy, bro. Love Gladiator and 300. So I guess we know that order. Don says you have to pay attention to Gladiator. Troy and 300 is just killing. That's fair. But okay. Well, all right. Well, that wasn't the assignment. Okay. All right, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. That's going to do it for today's show. Don and I are getting back into it. Oh, Melanie Hutchison. 300 Immortals. Ooh, okay. Troy and then Gladiator. 300. Listen, Melanie, I don't want to assume, but if I had to guess, 300 is probably because of all of the abs. And I'm just going to paint you in that corner. That's what I'm doing. I'm just messing with you. I love you guys. I love you, Melanie. I love all of you guys who are watching. Love everybody who's hanging around, supporting the show, still supporting the channel. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys know some of the struggles we've been going through, so it's I don't need to hang on to that. But listen, Don and I have a lot going on as far as behind the scenes and what we're building. We're coming back, and we're going to come back strong. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to being on here on a more regular basis. This is so much fun still, and I miss the hell out of you guys. I miss the hell out of you guys just hanging out with me every day. So we're going to be back on a regular basis. It's going to be every day. It's just only a matter of time. So we're working back towards that. It will happen. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and thanks so much for tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if this is your first time here. And yeah, like I said, love every single one of you guys. Until next time, stay safe out there. I'll see you next week.